Happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings with Patricia. So I'm doing, these ahead of time because I'm going to be out of town. So for the next two, I'm going to be still working with Maharaj. I am that. You could work with us forever, right? But let me read a little bit to you. So the questioner says, all you say to me is clear, but when some physical or mental trouble comes, my mind goes dull and gray or seeks frantically for relief. And so Maharaj says, what does it matter? It is the mind that is dull or restless, not you. Look, all kinds of things happen in this room. Do I cause them to happen? They just happen. So it is with you. The roll of destiny unfolds itself and actualizes the inevitable. You cannot change the course of events, but you can change your attitude. And what really matters is the attitude and not the bare event. The world is the abode of desires and fears. You cannot find peace in it. For peace, you must go beyond the world. The root cause of the world is self-love. Because of it, we seek pleasure and avoid pain. Replace self-love by love of the self, and the picture changes. Brahma, the creator, is the sum total of all desires. The world is the instrument for their fulfillment. Souls take whatever pleasures they desire and pay for them in tears. Time squares all accounts. The law of balance reigns supreme. I'll read on. So the questioner says, to be a superman, one must be a man first. Manhood is the fruit of innumerable experiences. Desire drives to experience. Hence, at its own time and level, desire is right. And Maharaj says, all this is true in a way. But a day comes when you have amassed enough and must begin to build. Then sorting out and discarding are absolutely necessary. Everything must be scrutinized, and the unnecessary ruthlessly destroyed. Believe me, there cannot be too much destruction, for in reality nothing is of value. Be passionately dispassionate. That is all. So I think this might be a little hard to understand because it sounds like Maharaj is saying, hey, you know what, just separate yourself from the world. And in a sense, Maharaj is saying that, but not maybe on the level that we take it at human value, because Maharaj is saying be compassionate, right? But, like he's saying, there's a lot of things that go on in a room. And you're not responsible for all the things that go on in the room, but you can notice them. You can have compassion. But you don't have to get into the action or the cause and effect of everything that's going on in the room, nor do you have to take it on personally, right? Because he's saying, there's a destiny of a lot of things that are playing out here, not just yours, not just, and I'm using destiny as a term very loosely. So it's not just yours. And so he's saying be passionately dispassionate. See, Jesus said this too. Jesus says, be in the world, but not of it. And all the great masters talked about that, right? So when you see pain or pleasure, if you buy into that, if you take that on and make that something personal for yourself, rather than holding it in something very worthy like compassion, which only true love can come out of. That's true love, and that's the healing love, right? Maharaj says you can't find any peace in the world. That's true. You can't find peace because everybody who is fighting for peace has their own formula for peace, right? And my peace and your peace may look something totally different. But what Maharaj is saying, is that peace begins with you. And when you find true love and peace within yourself, this is what makes a difference. So let's take a nice deep breath. So destroy everything. He's talking about destruction. Well, it's interesting because in Hinduism, Kali is the destroyer. So people bring things to Kali to destroy things that they don't want in their life, right? Maybe sickness, maybe fear, those sorts of things. And so, the cycle of destruction and creation in Hinduism is something very different than what we look at uh, in the West. It's very organic. We can call a lot of things destruction. How nature, the trees fall or the leaves fall and they crumple and they decay. It's a sort of destruction, right? But the seeds also fall and create new trees. So I think in the West, we really judge that and we don't see the whole cycle of things. So, it's just something to notice and taking a lot on. Well, he says there's self-love. Yeah, there's a lot of self-love because, and not as in big self-love, but, things are coming from a sort of desire. And people are coming from a place of I want, I desire. The little I, the Patricia. Patricia wants, Patricia desires. And how can we ever hope to find our big self when we have a long list of desires, right? And desires. What do we know about desires? We know that desires cause both pain and pleasure. So I think it's where you're at on your path, what you want to experience, because everything is perfect, right? And I believe, of course, in rebirth. And so, I think that however many lifetimes before you connect with yourself, because in that sense you do lose an individuality, and not everybody's ready to lose the individuality. Individuality becomes very important. I remember as a kid growing up, that was the thing they taught in school. Be an individual. And I think about how that really falls or flies in the face of some of the teachings I've learned later, spiritual teachings. But it's all perfect. So I always like to do a map across. How can you use this for your day? Well, notice what causes you pleasure and pain, and ask yourself why. Why do I desire this so much? Why am I so tied into this that I'm getting tunnel vision that I can't release and have faith that there's a bigger picture going on here? And sometimes it is really hard. Sometimes it's incredibly hard just to let that go, just to let it go. I was at Sacred Space tonight, and Rebecca Shepherd and see Jeremy Kelly and David Alm and Richard Lefebvre were doing satsang circles, and so they do a series of music and chants and then meditation. And I was singing away, and then all of a sudden, I realized I was gone. I was gone. And I could hear the music, but it was very far away, and I was in very deep trance, very deep meditation. And I noticed in that place, there's no desire. Although I did notice some fun things. I don't know how much you know about Krishna, but, Krishna is... And, I told you before, he'd play his vineyard, he'd play the flute, and all the gopis would dance around. And there I was. And there was Krishna, and he was playing his flute, and the gopis, and I look over, and I see Shriyam, and this, of course, is in my meditation. And he was smiling, how Shriyam smiles. If you know him, he, and I can't even do it, but there's something beautiful about the smile in his countenance and his eyes. And then I found I was crying. And why am I sharing this? Well, number one, if you're local, if you haven't been to Satsang Circle, I just really urge you to come. It's, it's going to be, it's on our calendar on our website, and that's, our gatherings are always at 6:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays. So, find out when it is on the calendar. www.sacredspacespiritualcenter.org if you haven't been to our website. But I bring it up about the gopis and about that experience, and it made me cry because I had no desire. I was just in this space of pure bliss and just noticing. And I noticed how it it hits my inner nature, my true nature. This is the second time I've been a little blissed out with you, huh? It just hits my true nature, and I realize that that is available. I mean, I know that is available to us all day long, 24 hours a day, right? And Maharaj and other people like Sri M, other great teachers and masters, this is their natural state. Things can happen and go by, and it has like no effect, but they can hold deep, deep, deep compassion, and that's why Sriam did the Walk of Hope, to create beautiful peace, and he's going to be going to other countries next year in 2017. And and so we do action in the world because Jesus says, look, when you can do something for your brothers and sisters, you do that, right? That's not, you don't disassociate from the world, because the true self, the true nature, is always compassionate and will help others. So you wouldn't walk by somebody. But so I think, in the West, it's very hard to understand this, because it's like I think people are still searching for it. Searching for it. The big it. God, spirit, whatever. And like, you are it. This is what Maharaj is saying. You are it. You are it. And I can't remember the old saying. There was a saying that, if God had said, if you want to hide anything from a human being, hide it in their heart. Right? They'll look everywhere but in their own heart for that key, for that mystery. You are the mystery. I don't know how else to say it. And, these are things that we can be told over and over. I know I heard them for years. And maybe you have to hear them in a number of different ways, right? But it's just amazing when we realize that. We are the mystery. So I hope that's what you hold today in your heart. I hope that's what you understand, even just a little glimpse of that. You are the mystery. You are definitely the mystery. Yeah. And you're eternal, and you're beautiful, and you're loved. So I wonder what you're going to do with that today. If you really understood that you're the mystery and you were walking around, right? Not attached to being the mystery, but if you really understood that, right? What sort of peace and joy and hope, it would give you. What deep, deep, deep joy. You are the joy. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, I love myself. I love you. Thanks for watching.